Good afternoon, Eric Arnold here in the Sports Barn. Checking. My mind is just other places right now. Yeah, let's keep it rolling. Why not? Like I said, my mind is just 1,000 places right now. Terrible weekend. We're here to recap that for you. Um, Monday Night Pick. We have that for you. So. Let's get to it. Saturday, just an abject disaster. I think we had 7 wins, 14 losses. You gotta try to be that bad. You actively have to really try to be that bad. You flip a coin, you're almost 5 times out of 6 gonna be better than that. I don't know what to say. It's very discouraging. I won't lie. I am completely discouraged at the moment about everything. But what really frustrates me is I keep coming back to I'm using the historical model in a time that has no historical equivalence, and may never get back to the metrics that the historical model is based upon. That's what's really frustrating. When does this all end? No one can tell you. No one, I took the wife on a little one-day trip here this weekend. Went up to Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Just, a random place where I thought the leaves might be changing colors. I have an AARP card. That's what we old people do, things like that. And I would say 3/4 of the bars up there closed. And the one place I did go into, really frustrated me. It was like, okay, can I get a beer? Well, you have to order food. I just had a big meal. Well, sorry. I thought to myself, well, I guess I won't get the virus because I ordered food with my drink. But maybe I'll just add on another 30 pounds and end up at 300 instead of the 270 I'm currently dragging around. Someday I'll lose some weight here. I've been thinking about starting up a second channel about weight loss and running. And I just haven't, I'm depressed. I won't lie, I'm depressed at the moment. But alright, where were we? Talking in a big circle, nothing you give a shit about. Over here is the Monday night game, the Saints versus the Chargers, so we'll get to that in a moment. And you always had the some freedom left in your lives, to fast forward to the point where I do give you the Monday tick. Let's see, Bucks Bears, we talked about that already, that's a loss. Tulane, we talked about that already, that's a loss. I have no idea what happened here on that Friday night. Louisville not close, loss. Again, this lockdown, defense optional in the pandemic apparently. I guess I saw at least 1 or 2 college coaches offer the opinion that no spring practice is causing this lack of defense, that I guess they teach these kids how to tackle in the spring or something. I don't know. But, we had Virginia Tech, they scored, 40 some points, lost. They give up like 50 some points to North Carolina. What can you do? Florida, they lose outright at Texas A&M. The coach blamed the fact that there were, I think, 30,000 people in the stands. Like, wow, don't know what you're going to do when there are 100,000 there, dude. So, loss. This was like one of our only bright spots of the day. A top pick actually won as Liberty pretty easily over Monroe, 40 to something. 40 to 14 maybe? I don't know. This is bad handicapping. I knew this game was wrong from the jump. They expect an Army to outscore another option team by, and I even have a metric in my spreadsheet that says never lay more than 20 some points against an option team. Citadel runs the option. So that was just stupid. That was just flat fucking stupid. So my apologies there. Georgia, they get up over the 12. That was a nice one. Iowa State, their season still continues. They covered over Texas Tech. That looked a little dicey at the end that Texas Tech might get the backdoor cover, but they didn't get it. I don't know what happened there. Texas State got beat pretty soundly. This was another stupid one, just stupid. I mean, 34 and a half, that's just too much. That's too much. I mean, it's almost like the betting public has my model. You know, the numbers on some of these games are just outrageous, 34 and a half. And I'm going, hey, let's take that. Yeah, so they win, but not nearly by enough to cover. I don't want to hear the words pit anymore. I just don't. I can't get that team right to save my life. We had them again, and they failed again. I don't know why we keep picking them. I don't want them. I don't want to play on them. I don't want to play against them. I don't want to see the word pit. This was an interesting game if you saw this. I mean, we've been using this NWA wrestling analogy here because Arkansas beat the team, Mississippi State, to beat the team that isn't listed on the board, LSU. So now Arkansas, who I'm calling George South, had the belt, and they're playing Auburn, and they had Auburn. They had them. I mean, Auburn goes and misses a chippy field goal at the end there. Now Arkansas's got the ball with like 2.5 minutes left. So all you need is a field goal, or all you need is a first down or two, and you're going to probably win the damn game. But they couldn't get it, so now Auburn gets the ball back. And they drive into position to kick another chippy field goal. But they screw up one of these spike deals where they clock the ball to stop the clock. It's raining, and the quarterback's probably not the best quarterback anyway, so he fumbles the ball. Then he picks it up, then he throws it behind him to stop the clock, and the refs are all going, wow, that was unusual, what do we do now? And they screw it up. I mean, it's a fumble. I mean, he threw the ball behind him. You don't get to spike the ball after you fumble it onto the ground. Well, the refs screwed that all up, and they let them keep the ball even though Arkansas had recovered the fumble. So Auburn wins. None of this mattered to us because, you know, we were laying a huge amount of points again. But I thought, well, I had called Arkansas Magnum TA, and I thought, well, that can't be right. That's not right because Magnum TA's a face, and he would have never cheated to win the belt. So we'll make Arkansas's got to be a heel then, but not a very good heel. You know, they're not worthy of being like certainly not Ric Flair or even one of the Andersons. We'll make them Tully Blanchard, I think. We're going to make Auburn Tully Blanchard. They cheat to beat George South. George South thinks he's going to retain the title, but then, you know, Tully Blanchard, Baby Doll interferes, grabs George South by the leg, and he can't kick out 1, 2, 3, and it's over. Now, Tully Blanchard has the belt. So, Tully Blanchard now has, whoops. Well, here, let's try to draw it this way. That's a belt. Sort of. Yeah, there. Sort of. That looks like a belt. Got it. So now, Auburn, Tully Blanchard has a belt. Alright, Kansas State, we were right about that. Oddly enough, Butch Davis fails. Mississippi or Mid-Tennessee State gets the win. We were wrong about that. Wrong but right. Alabama, top play. They scored 60-some goddamn points. And they still didn't cover. I mean, this is so frustrating. I don't understand what's going on right now. Like you said, defense optional. Temple, they find a way to lose the Navy. Pretty much anybody in the country, the only team that can find a way to lose the Navy. a game I had no idea anything about, that one. Good job, Mississippi State. I mean, they scored 2 points. Did I get that right? 2 points? I guess I said defense optional, except in Kentucky, apparently. I have no idea. Clemson did what we thought they'd do. They took care of business against Miami. Lost there. Good job, UTEP. I guess they're better than we think they are. And then Notre Dame again, defense optional. Florida State has looked awful against everybody, yet I guess they figured, well, we're on national TV, maybe we better just try to play a little bit here. And Notre Dame could not get up and get the W for us, so that's all very disappointing. Terrible. I mean, I'm just pissed. I'm frustrated. Sunday was a little better. I mean, the only thing I'm sad about here is that we didn't have 3 stars on this game like I was going to. We fired another coach. We fired Dan Quinn. That's the second guy we fired this year. We fired O'Brien earlier in the year. Now we fired Dan Quinn. So the Panthers, they're 3-2. Falcons 0-5. Dan Quinn unemployed. Salute. How about the Raiders? I actually won with the Raiders and I won with the Dolphins. 2 teams I universally hate because we never get them right. Well, we got them both right. How about that? Raiders get the win outright in Kansas City. That's a W. We're in the wrong place here. 7 was never enough. That number was too low. We were just trying to be tricky and sneaky. Didn't work. Rams, much the best. I don't know what happened here. The Jaguars seem to be in this game, and I haven't watched the replay yet to see how they were close, and then it looked like they had a big score on the stick waiting to jam it into the net. You know how the CBS or networks run the continual scoreboard of the other games, and it sure looked like the Jags had a big score there that was ready to be jammed in the net, and then somehow they didn't get it. So I don't know if they missed a field goal or fumbled the ball. Gotta look at the replay. This was our top game. We got lucky here. The Steelers have the win. They're about to fall on the ball with the victory formation. One of their last plays broke loose for a touchdown, which got the cover. We're not giving it back. We needed that win like a dead man needs a burial, so we're not giving that win back. Again, trying to be sneaky here, trying to ride Joe Burrow, rookie quarterback, against one of the best teams in the league. He got his comeuppance, that's what we say, comeuppance. We were right about this, that the Giants are getting better, the Cowboys are just not very good. Now they lose Dak Prescott. I don't know, I mean, the Cowboys were not playing well to begin with. That may reset that team somehow. We'll have to look at that. I mean, maybe that'll cause a rally around Andy Dalton. Anything's possible. I mean, it's a bad division. Dolphins, Garoppolo, probably not ready to play just yet. 49ers in disarray. We got that right. I don't know what happened here. I hate to say this, but the Browns may be better than what I give them credit for. I just think that's a bad organization. And, but, you can't argue right now. The record is the record, and those guys are right now looking like they might be pretty good. So they beat us. They beat us in the cold. So the 5 wins, 4 losses. I guess the only silver lining the whole goddamn weekend was our top plays were 2 wins, 1 loss in the NFL. I feel like Steve Martin in that great scene from The Jerk where he's trying to tell, he's guessing weights and he's trying to tell you what you get to pick as a prize if you guess his weight. And it's like, well, it's right here. It's this shelf right here, right here. This is what you want to look at, right here. Don't look at the rest of it. Don't look at the rest of it. That's all. That doesn't matter. You just want to look here. So, anyway. All right, where are we? Monday. This is what you want to hear. Chargers-Saints, games in New Orleans. What now? They have suspended Michael Thomas, their best receiver, because he punched some guy named Didi or Duty or CJ or one of their defensive backs. I guess they had a fight after practice, or at the conclusion of practice. I assume, no one knows, just giving you specifics, I assume it's just trash talking that got out of hand. So Thomas punched the defensive back. Thomas is the one that's suspended, to my knowledge. They didn't do anything to the D-back. I looked at the injury report. Both teams have massive injuries, all over the place. Injuries all over the place. I think that's how we're going to play this game. I don't like the Saints at the moment. This is not a team that's playing particularly well. But, the number feels all right to me here. They're saying, secondary of the Saints is all beat up. One of their top pass rushers is hurt. Trying to think who else. One of their starting O-linemen's out. I didn't see Kamara on that injury report. And I got 4 out of the 5 O-linemen. So, and Drew Brees wasn't on that injury report. So I've got that. Whereas the Chargers, they had a questionable next to Joe. I lose track now. Joey, right? I know. I went to Ohio State. I'm not a Bosa fan. I'll spare you the reasons why. But I'm not a Bosa fan. But he's questionable. That means he won't play. Let's see who else was out. They were missing the whole right side of their O-line. Their starting guard and their starting right tackle are out. Their running back is out. So you got a backup running back, you got a rookie quarterback, you're missing the right side of your O-line. I'm thinking the Saints are going to be in the backfield causing trouble tonight. That's what I think. It doesn't matter that the Saints don't have anybody healthy in the back secondary to cover anyone, because the quarterback ain't going to have time to get the ball off. This is the thinking. All right, one other point here before we tell you the Saints are the pick. These numbers, this is why you come to the barn, so you get to learn something. When you're making your picks, you're going to find that sports books have numerous odds up there, and they all vary slightly. They don't all have the game at -7, -7. So often you're presented a choice as to, do I want the game? Let's see, Chargers, Saints. Do I want the Saints -7, -110? Or do I want, let me do this, -105. -105, or do I want the Saints -6.5, -113? Now follow me here. I know most of you are smart enough to figure this out. That obviously laying 6.5 seems to be better than 7. Because I'm going to win more often. I'm going to win on 7 instead of tie on 7. The game lanes 7 a lot. But I got to pay more. I got to pay the man 113 vig instead of 105. So how do I determine which is the better bet? Which is the one I should be taking? Well, you cheat. Online, there's all these things called calculators that a lot of these sports betting websites will have half-point calculators. That's what you're looking for. Half-point calculator. So all you got to do is find one of these half-point calculators and just follow the instructions. And basically the calculator, what it has inside the calculator that you don't know at the snap of your fingers is how often does an NFL game land on the number 7? You know, that's the key piece of knowledge you need to know to answer this question. So you type in your numbers, you push the button, and it'll say, here's the break-even point. You know, here's where, you know, in this example, the break-even point at 6 and a half, making a hash out of this, was minus 118. In other words, if you can get 6 and a half anywhere from 118 down, then you want it. It's the better deal. Whereas if, say, this was 6 and a half minus 120, then you wouldn't want it. You wouldn't want it. You would, because this is so much cheaper, even though it's a higher number, it's cheaper, and you would want to go ahead and just lay the 7, if that makes any sense. I hope it does. Because if you have more than one sportsbook account, and since they're all free now in the state of everywhere, just about, you should have more than one account so you can get the better deal when you're betting. You're going to be presented with this conundrum occasionally where, gee, which one do I take? Look for your half-point calculator, and that's going to help tell you whether or not to take which one to bet on. All right, so very good. We're going to put 1 star there on the Saints. We're not that enamored with it. Plus, we think this is still a team in disarray. But the Chargers have done nothing to earn anybody's respect or trust this year. So the Saints are still a premium team. Only laying less than a touchdown, we'll take our chances. We'll take the Saints and lay the 6.5. All right, well, I guess this starts another week of trying to come up with winning college football picks. I don't know if I should just take the spreadsheet and throw it away or what I should do, honestly. At any rate, all right, thanks for being here. We'll talk to you again probably Wednesday, and we'll have something prepared by then for the weekend. I think there actually is. They're going to play that exciting Sun Belt game I was jacked about, the Appy State, Coastal Carolina. I think that's Wednesday. So, all right, thanks. Good sports, good luck, good evening, or is it good afternoon?